Hello, and welcome back to A Journey to King's Cross, a Harry Potter book podcast. And we just finished Chapter 14, The Unforgivable Curses. And we get, for our chapter art for this one and everything, a nondescript wand and a spider with, like, a little bit of, like...
light flashing.
Yeah, it's basically supposed to simulate the killing curse. From what I'm guessing and stuff and everything. Though, theoretically speaking, you could probably have it, like, be the Cruciatus. Or, like, you know, the Imperius, to be perfectly frank. It doesn't really make too much of a difference, but the end result is basically spell being used.
I have to admit, when we were listening to it, I don't know if you saw my joke, but when he mentions that Neville seems surprised by his own daring by raising his hand for knowing one of the curses, I just imagine him raising his hand, looking at his, oh my god, what the heck is that? What the heck is that? As his hand is going up, like, what the fuck?
Kimmy's got her hand over her mouth and everything. She's doing an excellent job for an individual who refuses to appear on camera.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
It would have been better on camera.
It probably would have, but, like, pass.
We're gonna pick on you about that.
That's fine.
But, yeah, we, of course, for this chapter, we get a little bit of lead up and everything to the actual Defense Against the Dark Arts class. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is technically one of the first ones we actually get class-wise, start to finish, basically, more or less. Like, usually, like...
It's just you get a clip of the beginning or clip of the end.
Yeah, I think other than the, Lockhart.
Or Trelawney's first lesson, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like any first major lesson, you usually get run through, but then after that, it's like a...
Well,
here's what they did in Transfiguration. And
well,
Ron fucked it up.
I think you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. I think this is technically the first full Defense Against the Dark Arts class that we get in Book 4. You know, we get, like, I think here, Books 2, we get, like, our first full-on, like, class with...
We get one with Lockhart.
Oh, right, yeah, never mind. Okay, we get one with
Pixies.
Lockhart. I guess this is probably close, like, you know...
I feel like we had at least one, maybe two, in Book 3 with Lupin.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah,
I
you
should
get the
again.
Bogart episode.
Right. Okay, I'm just misremembering on this one.
But you're right. This would be the first full class of Defense Against the Dark Arts we get in this book. If you can't tell, I have a shit-eating grin on my face.
Well,
and he wants to kill me.
Just goes to show you can't be right 100% of the time. We get a little bit of, like, the irritation between Moody and Snape and everything. A little bit more of, apparently, like, Neville's gone through 6 cauldrons, basically, and I'm just sort of like, I don't know, is that an impressive amount, or are we, like, you know, is this actually pretty, like, is it impressive because of the amount, or is it impressive that he only did this amount, considering how clumsy he is?
Is it impressive he's done this much, or impressive that he's done that little?
Exactly.
That's what you mean.
I think it's impressive he's done that little. Because thinking about it, they're pewter. Aren't the cauldrons made out of pewter? That's not a very thick...
No, I think it's kind of a soft metal.
It's a pretty soft metal, so, like, it's impressive that he hasn't gone through more.
Considering how accident-prone and how much he probably detests the potion classes and everything, it's amazing that he's doing as well as he does.
I know why they use pewter cauldrons instead of cast iron. Iron's resistant to magic. In a lot of folklore and things, iron is resistant to magic, so they don't use iron cauldrons because it's resistant to magic.
Oh, I'm not, like, arguing against it. Like, if I'm recalling my folklore a little bit and everything, most Fae don't like to be in contact with metal, like iron and, like, metal to begin with at all.
Well, iron. Silver is fine. They love gold.
Well, it depends on the magical creature. I think werewolves are particularly not very happy with silver.
I don't think werewolves count as Fae.
Well, I meant, like, magical beings in general. And everything.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Many of
when
them
you made gold, I was thinking leprechaun. Which have already appeared in this book.
So I was looking it up, and So yeah, the school supply list does say pewter, but then when you click on cauldron, and I have to like scroll down to find like where it's getting their information from. This is the Harry Potter fandom wiki. It says all cauldrons were enchanted to make them lighter to carry, as they were most commonly made of pewter or iron.
Interesting.
Wow.
That could be one
I
of
don't
the...
always trust the wiki.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be the first time Rowling's backtracked on something that made absolutely no sense in retrospect, basically, and made things more weirder or awkward or concerning, depending on how you want to look at it.
That is true.
But, yeah,
Hold on. I just remembered something as I was reading through this. Because it says, in general, cauldrons had to stand up to great wear and usage. What was Percy working on in the beginning of this book?
Cauldron bottoms.
What if that's where Neville's getting all of his cauldrons from? Is they're all the imported ones
Oh my
with
god.
the thinner bottoms?
Oh, oh god.
Because
I didn't even think you're right.
I
Percy's
had
doing...
to make this connection just by reading this. But like when you guys mentioned that it was impressive that he had done or melted through 6 cauldrons, I was like, well, you get what you pay for. But then I was like, no, I feel like Neville's from a more well-off family. Like I don't feel like his grandma would like cheap on him too much.
You say that, but if he damaged the first one that they spent a lot of money on, they're more likely to go with cheaper options to try and avoid like wasting money on Neville. Because even if you're like absolutely wealthy and everything,
no,
you're not gonna. Yeah.
As a parent, thinking of it from that perspective, yes.
Yeah. So technically speaking, Percy could in fact be trying to help poor Neville out and avoiding like more like imports and stuff. It doesn't really take us too far in and everything before we actually get the lesson in question with Moody. And yeah, like he's going over everything, talks pretty highly of Lupin. Ironically enough, Lupin gets mentioned quite a bit in this chapter and everything.
Right, he mentions that he got a letter from Lupin and...
Yeah, and and Harry compares Moody to Lupin at the end of the actual chapter as well.
Being kind and...
Yeah. It was a very Lupin-like move and everything. But, yeah, the whole, like, the actual introduction of the Unforgivable curses, I'm not really 100% certain how much I like the Killing Curse specifically, though. Not in the sense that it's, like, it's super important to the plot, the green light and everything, symbolism because of, like, you know, good and evil, red eyes, green spell, red spell, and everything else between Harry and Voldemort and everything. It just... There are so many ways you could kill a person and everything. It seems kind of like, well, and we got the killing curse and everything. I'm just sort of like... Part of me kind of wishes it doesn't exist because that way it would require people like Voldemort to be more creative. Because I feel like once this becomes introduced, it kind of just sort of becomes the go-to spell for Voldemort and everything. And it kind of takes away from the creativity of an actual wizard fight, you know what I mean? That being said, it works for the context of the series itself, so I can't really complain too much. But I have heard people actually, like, griping a little bit about it and everything.
I did find a random bit of information. Sorry, I'm still on the cauldrons. Because they could get them in different metals. And I was like, well, I think pewter's like a softer metal. But I was like, why pewter then? It brews slowest. So if you're teaching someone potions, you want something that's going to brew slower.
Oh, so like it's got a low heat conductivity?
Kinda? I don't know. It just says it brews the slowest. So, like, I would assume that, like, it would make it so, like, instead of a step would take maybe 5 minutes before you add in the next ingredient versus, like, a higher brewing cauldron might be, like, 30 seconds or a minute.
You'd have to be a lot faster on the draw,
right,
basically.
and if you're teaching someone, they don't know shit.
You're going to want to have as much time as possible to get every single detail out and explanation-wise.
And it sounds like, from what I'm going to interpret from the snippets we've got of potions classes, it's not like teaching it like a cooking class where you have mise en place, where you have it all set and ready to go beforehand. Like, they're prepping their ingredients for the next step of this potion as they go.
Which is, you know, remarkably poor planning, honestly.
Mise en place! It's England. I was to say the French had a point with mise en place, but it's England. They hate the French.
They'd argue against them on principle.
Yep.
Prep your ingredients, bro.
It does, like, I feel like that would actually make things easier and stuff. Like, you'd start off at the beginning of the class with prepping every ingredient and stuff.
That's why
And then-
mise en place is a thing in culinary school. And
Yeah,
cooking.
like, you'd have, like, your teacher would be able to go around and, like, correct you in terms of things. Hell, even, there are certain, like when we get to, like, book 6...
Yeah.
They even have it so, like, how you prepare the ingredient for the potion impacts the quality and speed of the potion itself. Harry was, like, going through there reading the directions off of, the potion book and everything. Is like, well, the book says to do this, but my notes say to do this. So, I can follow behind Hermione, or I could take the advice from the, like, you know, the book and everything.
Yeah.
And how it works actually in, like...
It kind of hints at that in book 3 when Harry is forced to help Malfoy. Or Ron. One of them had to help Malfoy when
They both had to. It was just different things.
But it was like, cut it up nice and neat or whatever.
He's mutilating my roots.
Yeah. So they kind of make a hint to how you prepare the ingredient.
If I was in Ron's position, I would have taken my knife out and just destroyed my own right there and then.
Oh,
and been just
sorry.
sort of like, I guess you're just going to have to deal with what you deal with.
Yeah, but Snape would have made him go get more.
Well, then it's not mine that then I'm still delaying it. Like, if I'm going to be screwed over, I'm taking whoever I can down with me. And if that includes getting rid of the person that's been driving up a wall for the last year and a half, basically, so be it. I'm already getting detention from this bastard on a regular basis and everything. What more can be done at this point? After a point, you're going to start turning basically into James and Sirius and stuff in a sense, where you're just sort of like, screw it. I'm here for
the petty.
If I'm going to be put in detention and everything, I might as well damn well earn it, you know?
Yeah.
With how often they actually ended up in, like, detention according to books, like, book 5 and everything. It's like, you know what? Like, was it book 5 or book 6? Might have been book 6. It doesn't.
All of the above.
Yeah. We, of course, get the famous line of constant vigilance and everything.
Making the class jump.
Of course. But, yeah. It is kind of a morbid thought process, because it's like, when the spider seemed to know what was coming with the killing curse and everything, it fought to escape and everything. It's just like, how sentient is that spider? I mean, we've already got the acromantulas from out there.
Yeah.
This is very much a possibility that the spider knows exactly what the fuck is coming, basically, considering it could have been in the room for multiple classes, or at least even just one or two.
That spider could have already had the Imperious Curse and the Cruciatus Curse on him, and now he's like, ah, shit.
Here we go!
I know what's next!
Fuck.
I know my wife does
have
not...
babies!
I know my wife does not like spiders in the slightest, so dead spider's always a good spider in her book and everything, but I do feel very bad for the poor thing.
Yeah. I made my boss feel bad for a spider inadvertently a week or so ago.
I have a deal with the spiders in my house.
They walk in, they sign their death warrant, and I hold that
If I see them outside, they're fine. If they're in my house or in my car, they're dead meat.
To be fair, my incident with the spider, they were in my clinic. And pretty much all of us feel the same way. No spiders in the clinic. We don't like them. This was a big spider.
It's a terrible, terrible stance as a vet tech in a vet clinic.
Small animal, not bugs. Okay? We don't treat bugs. Different. Totally different, alright?
So I guess I can't bring my tarantula in to get it looked at?
No.
Damn. You need an exotic pets vet for that.
And we're not exotic. Good luck.
You're exotic, though.
She's really not.
She's very exotic.
I am...
She's out of this world.
That's not exotic.
I mean, you can't get more exotic from that out of this world.
I am far from exotic. Scandinavian.
For all you listening out there, I'm so sorry.
I'm flirting horribly with my wife, and she's just not having it today.
You can't call me exotic when I'm literally Scandinavian.
There's only one of you in the universe, though.
That doesn't mean I'm exotic.
Yes, it does. It kind of does. Exotic means unusual, unique, right?
If the podcast next week is just me and Kimmy, don't be surprised, y'all.
This is what I get for trying to be nice to my wife. I get killed.
The GoFundMe for Mitch's funeral. I mean, what?
I told you, I don't want a bloody funeral. Just burn my corpse and invite everybody to the house and throw a party. I don't need a
Okay,
fucking
GoFundMe
funeral.
for the party. Jeez.
There we go.
Yeah,
That's
the
more
liquor.
like it.
I need to go fund me for the liquor.
Damn right. And snacks. I expect snacks.
You'll...
I'll be dead, but I'll expect snacks.
What do you want me to do? Have them stale so your ghost can run through them?
I ain't haunting you. Hell no. I'm not going to stay on this fucking planet while I watch it burn. I'm going to heaven. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
He has
man.
no unfinished business.
I have succeeded in doing everything a man can set out to do, except for kill somebody important. But that's not really on my list.
We're not going there.
Anyhow.
We, of course, get a little bit of each one. I think Ron starts off with the Imperius. Neville and Hermione go after the Cruciatus. And
Hermione put her hand up for all three.
I know. Hermione also, like, the only person talked about the Killing Curse as well. And it's the Dementor thing. Once the Killing Curse has been named as Avada Kedavra, it basically stops being, you know what I mean?
Which we were commenting, like, why are you calling this by its name? Like, you don't... What are the other ones? Like... I'm blanking. The only ones
Cruciatus and the Imperius.
not those. Like, just any other spell. We're just like, yeah, they're gonna use Wingardium Leviosa instead of whatever it's called, levitation.
Right. Like, why are we saying spell names all the time?
Yeah.
Like, what if we just inadvertently cast a spell? But I guess that's what the point of a wand is for, is to help focus your magic.
But there are people that can do wandless magic.
But it takes intense concentration.
It depends on which school you go to.
Unless you're a dude drinking coffee while reading a physics book in the leaky cauldron. Then you can just stir your coffee willy-nilly.
To be fair, I think a lot of people have shown to be using, like, wordless magic, like, over the course
Wandless
of the...
magic?
Yeah.
And wordless, both.
Yeah. I think, what's his face? Quirrell does summon year one. He doesn't cast a spell, and I don't think he uses a wand. He snaps his finger and Harry gets chained up. No, it's chained up in the book. In the movie, it was the flames. But yeah, we get Ron's backstory about his dad having trouble with the Imperius stuff, and of course we get hinted at of Neville's family's fate with the Cruciatus, which becomes an ongoing plot point. Still kind of bummed he never got his run back with Bellatrix, to be perfectly honest. I feel like that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
He doesn't even get to confront anyone else. Like, technically speaking, what's-his-face? Junior is involved in that as well as Bellatrix.
Who the hell cares who else he can confront? It was Bellatrix. That bitch.
Yeah, like, there's, like, 4 people that were involved in that incident and everything, and Bellatrix is the only one that gets any, like...
Comeuppance?
Any, like, any credit towards it, you know what I mean? Yeah, the actual, like, chapter going over the explanation, everything, while interesting and stuff, I do like the effect of, like, the kids laughing about the Imperius Curse, and then they all shut up as soon as they, like, as soon as he threatens them with it, basically. Like, the realization just dawns on the entire class in that moment, basically. We understand.
That's a very 14-year-old stance, I feel like.
Oh, no, it's on point. I'm not saying it's wrong. Like, that's on brand. Like... And to be perfectly honest, there's a lot of adults that have a similar mindset as well and everything. They're all for haha funny until it ends up impacting one of their own. Not going into details on that one, basically. You know. But, of course, we get the whole...
Wild? Sorry, I was just thinking this. The fact that Moody is being so nice to Neville, even though he's literally, like... Yeah, because of your parents, I went to jail.
Because of me, you don't have any parents.
But
that too.
But no, I have a response to that. But that brings up a thought I've had since we started this chapter. Now, if this was truly Alistair Moody, yes, I could see where he would be like, yes, constant vigilance, teaching them how to protect themselves from these curses. But we know this isn't Moody.
That is the one true shortcoming of the entire series. I would have loved to have gotten some time with the real one.
Yeah.
I like to think, though,
before all this shit.
Or after. Like,
I think
anything.
He was a good teacher because these are the future army of Voldemort.
That was the only thing that I was thinking, is that maybe he's teaching them this to kind of get an idea of like, okay, you think you look like you could do this. You look like you would have this down.
And he trained Harry for doing a good job on Harry because,
Here's a horror story for
he
you.
has to make sure Voldemort has a good fucking challenge.
No.
He doesn't
I've got
want
it
Harry
worse.
to be useless.
He is doing this and using the Imperious Curse because Plan A was to just Imperious Harry and walk him out. And when it proved ineffective, then Plan B with the whole
Wait, has he did he do the Imperious Curse in this chapter?
not
yet?
in this one. I don't think he did it this chapter.
Jumping ahead. Our bad guys.
My overarching
because you know
thought,
what, in the movie they did it together.
yeah, they don't really mess with the Imperious Curse until I think another chapter or two ahead.
Did he use the Imperious Curse on Harry in
Yes.
the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Wait, hold on.
I don't
don't
think
know.
so.
I thought they did.
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think they don't. No, they didn't do that. No, I don't think so. That was a book only thing.
Don't roll
But-
me.
My overarching thought process was just like, I would like to think when he actually did the actual Imperious thing, he was testing to see if he could control Harry. Because if he could control Harry, he could either A, get him out of the school at his leisure. I mean, he's got Polyjuice Potion out the wazoo. They could
True.
easily have somebody take over being Harry if they needed to keep somebody there. And just march him off to wherever they need to go. I think he was keeping it like he gave Neville the book that he might need that's supposed to have gillyweed in it.
That was my response, Kimmy, of why he was being so nice to Neville. He's laying seeds to help Harry later.
Yeah. Ironically enough, that works in the movie, but it doesn't work in the book.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah, 'cause I think in the book he has to be like, hey, Neville, Longbottom, help him.
yeah, like he was under the impression that Harry was going to ask everybody for help. Basically,
Forgetting how stubborn they all are.
Harry has his damn pride and everything. He's not going to ask other people for assistance on something. But the overarching thought process is that I figured he was trying to see if he could get Harry under the spell and everything, because it would be even if he still went through, even if he still was going through the actual process.
I think he was doing two plans at once to see.
Yeah.
He had a
Plan
A is I'm going
Plan
to
B.
Imperious him, but Plan B I need to set in motion now in case Plan A fails.
Right. And to be perfectly honest, I get the feeling he had probably expected that Harry would be a strong enough moral character, considering he fought in Voldemort before in the past. So it's like, well, on the off chance this works, it's going to make my life easier. Even if he does still have Harry go through the
He could have just set up a port key and period Harry to grab whatever port key it was.
Right.
It's gone.
You know,
at
waiting
any
for
point,
the Triwizard Cup to be the Porky.
at any point, he literally could have just fucking made a port key.
Yes.
Oh, unless.
But then
the only reason the port key worked for during the Triwizard Tournament is because so many other people, the restrictions were already lifted for port keys to work. I take it back.
Oh, that's right, because you can't do it in and out of the grounds.
Well, that's apparating, but I think they mentioned later in the book that Dumbledore set up a special port key for for families to come visit. So I think that's the only reason why the port keys were able to.
Next book, though, he makes one.
True, but Dumbledore but he probably just opened the restrictions
it does say,
for port
yes,
keys.
generally port keys do not work within Hogwarts boundaries due to the school's ancient protective enchantments, but there are notable exceptions, including headmaster authority.
Oh, alright, well, point to Kimmy.
So, and this is the AI summary on Google, pulling it from Reddit. But it does sound like, special tournaments like the Triwizard Tournament, that enchantment was paused or bypassed, and then Headmaster Authority.
It is kind
Which
of
is
funny.
probably why Dumbledore can apparate on and off the grounds.
He can't actually in the books.
I keep getting confused.
In the movies, he does it. But in the books, he actually is flying around on a broom because they go to the Leaky Cauldron for a drink and then apparate from out of Hogsmeade and everything. They get back to Hogsmeade and have to borrow brooms in order to get back to the castle quickly. He doesn't actually operate inside of the school
Okay.
grounds, basically.
It's been a hot minute since I've read the book, so I keep forgetting the little things.
I know. We're reading the books right now.
It's been so long.
But
Listen,
yeah,
20 minutes ago was so long ago.
I know. What book are we reading?
Oh.
What chapter are we on?
oh brother,
24?
We're reading the Warrior Cats, right?
Yeah.
we
Crookshanks, the fucking Fire Clan leader, right?
Cloudpaw. He's gonna kill us.
I think
Right.
Kimmy's like walking out the door because she's got places to be and everything, and we're not even barely through the actual chapter itself.
We're mostly through the chapter.
Not much.
We haven't even talked about Spew.
Yeah,
Or
well,
their
to be
divination
honest, we
homework.
haven't gotten to that point. We haven't gotten to Spew. We haven't.
Made fun of all their.
We haven't
predictions.
there's the predictions that actually kind of work out as
That I
correct.
start laughing at with Harry's on Monday.
Look, this was a long chapter.
I'm gonna get
and
into
there
a
was lot to
fight
talk
with my
about.
best friend that I end up
No,
yeah.
on
To be fair,
Monday I'm
we
gonna
did
get
drowning
on Monday I'm gonna
underwater.
get burned. On Tuesday, something valuable is gonna be taken by me because of Mercury. And the way the narrator said it, I was like, "Oh, you fucker."
Ironically enough, like as much as like Rowling has said that like a lot of the whole like divination thing is BS and stuff, both Ron, Harry, and Trelawney, ironically enough, get a lot of things right.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly. I think it's Ron's dream journal ends up Ron ends up predicting the whole series. At some point.
I feel like I want to go.
It's
have
mostly
them and
just
mark them
this
off.
book because at the end of
But
it, Harry
Harry's-
ends up losing a fight.
Yeah.
Which is against Voldemort, basically.
Yeah.
There's the whole
Come out
underwater
the worst
I
thing.
mean, he didn't die, so like.
But he didn't predict.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
He's
no, at the
protected.
very
Yeah,
end.
that's the one that he doesn't get right is decapitation.
So long.
All right,
See
so
ya.
Kimmy's got to go. Well, we'll plug her stuff and everything at the end of the actual thing. But yeah, we also have Fred and George and their subplot with the
Ludo.
with Ludo Bagman and everything that continues to get brought up and everything.
I know when he saw them whispering in the corner, I was like, "Oh, they are doing Weasley's wizarding wheezes." Can't speak. And then he said, "No, can't say it like that. He'll blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, right. They want their money back from Ludo."
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I'm
and-
sorry. Every time I hear Ludo or say Ludo, I just think Ludo, Rock's friends, the labyrinth.
Oh, yep.
Ludo.
We also finally get the return of Sirius's letter and stuff and everything, and I did feel so bad for Hedwig because Harry loses his patience with her and
Like,
everything.
Okay, if I'm not gonna lie, I feel like if I had an owl that when they bring a letter back to me, they expect some sort of treat. I'm gonna have a bag of owl treats on me at all times. But maybe that's me because I'm a woman and I keep all my things on me at all times.
Ron actually has owl treats for when he has Pigwidgeon and everything, and he like toss him some like treats and stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's
everything.
what I was thinking. Owl treats, but like, does he? Like, why does
Yeah.
Harry keep them on him?
Yeah, Harry knew she was going to be gone for a while and everything. She's going halfway across, like at least a quarter of the way across
And
the globe.
this isn't even like a new behavior. Like this is expected. Like she's like, I bring you a letter, you give me food.
I don't know if they like go into details about that and everything. I don't recall that being a reoccurring thing.
No,
but
but-
it's like during
but
this
the way
occasion
she-
and stuff. Yeah, there seems to be some semblance of an expectation, at least on this one, which
Yeah,
I'm guessing
Because
is
she's
probably
clicking her beak expectantly.
yeah.
So like, she's like, hey, I did my job. Feed me.
I don't have any food on me. You'll have to go up to the hour like
But like, keep owl treats on you, you
something,
asshole.
anything like.
Like,
Sometimes I do feel like Harry kind of like treats Hedwig like kind of poorly and everything.
Yes.
Considering, like even if I didn't have any treats physically on me in the moment, I would have picked her up and like brought her to my
I
dorm
would've
and
brought
had
her
something there. Basically,
to where there's food, or I would have given her affection.
yes, I
But
would've
he
been
didn't
like-
even sound like he was doing that.
He's like, I get it. He's stressed out because Sirius is coming back and everything, and he's worried about his godfather and everything. But it's like, don't shoot the messenger. Come on.
Literally the messenger. And then this is why we have loves. My big fluffy Akita is here wanting loves.
not sure if that's getting picked up by the microphone or not, but his tail is thumping the back of my chair right now.
I don't think it's getting picked up by the microphone. It's pretty quiet. But
no, it looks like it actually. It's very faint. Like
if you can hear it, let us know. Drop it in the comments.
Oh yeah, if you can hear Kanji in the background.
The tail thumping. He's panting now, so that's here. Whoa.
That's a lot easier.
Knock stuff over. You guys sit up, babe. He's gotta get out of here. He's gonna knock stuff over. But like, thinking of the dogs, like when. Now, granted, when we had our shepherd, she wasn't really big into treats, so I never really had treats out. But now that we've got the 2 Akitas,
they're very food motivated.
They are food driven, and so like we have a jar on the counter that is always full of treats. Makoto, what are you getting into? I heard something. Our puppy is being naughty.
Or suspicious.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Yeah, well, she'll be running away from me and being like, I don't want no consequence. I don't want no consequences for my actions.
Yep.
Anyway, we get a little bit more over the course of like I've already touched base on everything basically because I wanted to try and keep Kimmy in like as much as possible. But doubling back a little bit and everything, we have like the fallout of Neville like, you know, shaking and stuff over the course of like the original class, and then like getting his words mixed up and even more airy than normal and stuff and everything, and then like help me as like, you know, Moody's trying to talk to him and everything, and like they're like it's a teacher, what do you want us to do?
So when we were listening to the chapter, my initial thought when like neither Harry, Ron, nor Hermione bothered to help or say anything, and I was like, wow, way to be friends, you guys. And then I was like, nah, you're 14 and your teacher is requesting Neville to come have tea. Yeah, you can't really say no to that.
I mean, yeah, like, how do you really fight that? Not to mention, though, like, Neville's always kind of been, like, he's friendly, but I wouldn't really consider him part of the group. And then there was that one time in book 3 and everything where he ended up not losing his rights to go to the Hogsmeade and everything, and then all of a sudden he wants to hang out with Harry when he's got anybody else to really talk to.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I don't, like, part of me, in like, if I was in Harry's position and if I was capable, like, wanted to hold a bit of a grudge, I would have been like, well, you earned it.
Now you want to be friends.
Now you want to be friends. Like, and it'd be doubling back on this one. I'd be like, you know, maybe if we were, like, really good friends or something, I might try to do something to get you out of this. But considering it's a teacher and everything, you might want to go see what he wants.
See, okay, I can totally understand that, but I feel like I would be more like that if Neville was being a nuisance, like purposely annoying or just aggravating. Because I'm not gonna lie, I have a coworker that if they were doing the stuff that Neville's doing right now, like, please help. Oh, now you want my help. Now you want to be friends. But Neville's so sweet, and he hasn't done a damn thing wrong, and I would feel bad doing that to him.
I mean, fair enough. I honestly, like, it's, like, they're all teenagers and everything. They're, like, just kind of coming into their own, basically, as people. So it's like, I can't give too much grief in any direction on this one. It's more for, like, the lulz at this point.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Of course, it's ironically enough, we get like the full on description of like where they're going and stuff in terms of conversation and everything. Like, they talking about it, then head up to Gryffindor Tower, and then they approach the fat lady as they're going along and stuff.
That was a nice touch. That it's like it's talking, balderdash.
Keeps going.
Yep.
I do have to appreciate it. Like, ironically enough, the whole thing with Trelawney takes up quite a bit of page work and everything.
Trelawney takes up a lot more of the books than we think.
Yeah.
When we start looking at it.
Ironically enough, her homework is like one of the rare times we actually deal with like homework regularly. usually in the grand scheme of things and stuff, she'll be like, we're talking about giving you homework and everything, and they'll talk about it in, like, the vague paragraph descriptions while going over extremely long periods of time.
I feel like that's because it's easier to delve into the intricacies of her homework based on its nature.
I mean, fair.
Versus, we're going to do an essay on the uses of a Bazoar in potions.
Yeah, you'd have to, make a lot of shit up for that one. Whereas with predictions, it's like, oh, okay, we're, looking into the future and everything. Predictions.
Oh, we're foreshadowing.
Right. I feel like you could have some fun with magical creatures and potentially defense against the dark arts if you're dealing with certain things. Homework. It's never mentioned.
I don't think Hagrid wants to give them homework. He wants to be the fun teacher.
I think he just wants to talk about magical creatures.
If he gives them homework, then he has to grade it. And I don't think Hagrid wants that.
Yeah, I don't see Hagrid, sitting down grading papers or anything along those lines very easily. Especially with the size of parchment and stuff that the kids are using. Yeah. We, of course, get the introduction of Spew and everything, which...
S-P-E-W!
Don't, brother. On the one... I see both sides on this. On the one hand, I feel Hermione's actually got the moral high ground on this. The whole, house elf thing is disturbing on so many levels, and I know for the sake of having Dobby, it's kind of an important thing, but I feel like there was a way of doing this without necessarily going full indentured servitude thing. Yeah. And it doesn't really paint your heroes in the best of light that none of them really take this very seriously, especially given Dobby's circumstances during the second book and everything. Yeah. But on the same time, as an individual, nothing is more infuriating than a friend of yours coming up with a harebrained idea and trying to drag you into it without your consent.
She tried. No, okay.
You know what I mean?
You say the whole thing and then yes. And she's like, Harry, you're going to be the secretary, and Ron, you're going to be the treasurer.
So you should be writing all of this stuff down now. The way the narrator delivers that line and everything is just something...
Hermione, do you know your friends at all?
Yeah, let's give Harry or Ron the writing task of this job. Yeah, that's gonna work out really well.
I feel like Harry would be better as a treasurer.
He's less likely to steal the money.
I don't think Ron would. I think
Ron's got his pride.
Compass, okay,
I just feel like Harry would have
a better focus.
I'm just saying that if
treasury.
Both of your if one friend's super well off to the point where that they could lose track of money and not notice it's missing and everything, they're probably not going to be taking anything out of the treasury box. Right. I do have to admit though, I feel like Hermione's got her heart in the right place and everything, but she needs to know her audience a little bit better and know that she's not going to have a whole lot of luck getting Harry and Ron to,
I feel like this would have been better if we had seen Hermione being...
Makoto, knock it off!
Being a defender against things in the school. If she had... if it wasn't just Malfoy that was speaking up against the Muggleborns, if it was more of a wizarding race, the whole of Slytherin house and chunks of all the other houses speaking up, making comments or something about Muggleborns, and then Hermione standing up and being the defender for the Muggleborns, whether she is or not. I feel like having her be a defender in the school for her own classmates as a start would have been a good spot, and then this would have felt like a natural step for her to be okay, well, now we gotta defend the other magical creatures.
I mean, fair enough, I guess, to a degree. There's, a lot of, little things and stuff and everything that could have... this whole Hermione subplot could have been handled much better and everything. And I think it kind of peters out to a point, you know what I mean?
It really does. It doesn't come back up in any other books.
Low-key honest, if we had to choose between one or the other, I really feel like the whole thing with the house elves should have just been either not put in there at all, or at least just not acknowledged. You know what I mean? The fact that Hermione brings this up and has, honest to God, the right points and stuff and everything does not necessarily like make the book or the series better for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because like I feel like by the time that book 5, the next book comes around, like and correct me if I'm wrong, because it's like I said, it's been a long time since I've read. Like I read book 1 several times, and I read book 7 once or twice. So do the math there. Have read them less and less each time. So it's been a long time since I've read any of the later books, but I feel like Hermione didn't make any comments or anything to defend Creature.
Yeah, she did. She made some points and stuff and everything. Creature and the whole thing with Sirius and stuff, it like gets quite a bit of conversation and stuff. Harry gets like super aggravated about it and everything, and is even more pissed off that he gets saddled with Creature and basically just sends him to the kitchens basically at Hogwarts to just not deal. He does end up using him over the course of book 6 and book 7 and stuff and everything. And I'm still not particularly happy about that and everything. If I were to make a move in any direction, I would just have it so, like, the evil families are the ones that have house elves and nobody else deals with them. And that we have maybe humans just preparing the food here at Hogwarts and everything, because, you know... Like, there are some points. Like, obviously we need to have...
Or, like, have a couple of ghosts that are like, man, I'm not ready to go to the afterlife. I want to cook, and they find a way to, like...
Yeah. Somebody...
Make things move.
Someone, this is completely off topic and everything, but somebody actually did have an idea for replacing the house elves. Like, they were doing a Harry Potter rewrite, in a sense. Like, they weren't rewriting every single book. But they were basically doing, like, okay, this is, like, what I'm going to do and everything. The idea being is that a lot of the household chores and cooking and stuff were done by ghosts who were, like, biding time to finish their business and move on to their next point in life and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was their way of, like, either paying off debts that they had accrued when they were alive, they had a way of keeping themselves busy or earning their keep or something along those lines. Because otherwise, the ghosts seem kind of useless outside of basically, like, monitoring things. And even then, they don't do a very good job of it, because the only time that they need to be monitoring things is they fail miserably because of the plot. Like, Sirius Black gets in and out of the castle, the basilisk runs around with no issues, you know, like, all sorts of, like, things that... Theoretically,
you can't tell me that they can't figure out a way to, like, manipulate physical objects, because Binns gives homework. And he's a ghost. How does he grade the homework? Or the tests?
How does he grade the homework?
If he's a ghost and he
would have to need to move the paperwork to some degree.
Yeah.
And if he needs to write a note on the board, he would need to be able to manipulate the chalk.
So you can't tell me that they can't
Yeah.
maneuver the things.
Low-key, ghosts taking the place of the house elves and stuff for, like, working around. Because it's kind of weird that Dumbledore actually is like, we need to be kind to Creature, we need to, like, you know, not cause trouble with the house elves and everything. And he's basically the biggest enslaver of house elves in the entire of Wizarding Britain.
Dude, at some point they could have had Julia Child as their ghost cook. I don't know if she was...
I don't think she'd be...
I don't know when she passed away.
She wouldn't be in Britain. She'd be in America.
Well, no. I was just trying to think of a cook that someone knew that was...
Yeah.
That was somewhat famous.
Oh, I mean, that would be cool, though. Like, certain ghost chefs from certain eras and stuff and everything are, like, in high demand for different magical schools.
Right.
So they give them, like, certain perks and reward, like, rights and stuff at, like, different areas and stuff. Yeah, that'd be actually kind of cool and everything. Like, that'd be part of, like, the reason
you'd be, like, awesome bragging rights. Like, yeah, man, I go to Hogwarts. We got freaking Julia Child as our chef.
Yeah. That'd actually be kind of
I don't know any other chefs that have passed away, so I don't come at me.
But yeah, like we get the whole thing with like that, and honestly, like outside of like the perfect timing of Hedwig though, because I feel like that could have devolved into a really uncomfortable conversation or an argument or something if they kept up on the SPW thing.
Yep.
And that brings us basically to the end of the chapter more than anything else. So unless there is something else that you want to really discuss or talk about.
I think I hit on everything that I had thought of.
All right, we will leave it there then. We're Kimmy. You can find on her Twitter and Instagram. I
think
think
she's got all of the socials. At
yeah,
Luna's Creation
all
Corner.
yeah, Luna.
We're gonna tag them below.
Yeah, I
We're
like to
always-
think that I've been keeping up on that and everything. I feel like I'm getting a little bit sloppy when it comes to
Yeah.
like the YouTube.
If they're not in
aspect.
this one, they're in one from book 1 for sure.
Oh, everything up until the current thing, I've been pretty solid about.
You can find me on YouTube at Brandywine Stitches, or the rest of the socials at Hockeytown Candle Co.
Cole Sanders on Twitch, Mondays and Wednesdays and everything. Times subject to change due to being a parent of 2 children that need to be fed and watered on occasion.
Only on occasion. How keep them small.
Well, to be perfectly honest, yeah, we don't want them getting too big. We might start finding gray hair where we don't want it.
Maybe on you. I don't know if I'm going to find gray in this beautiful blonde.
It'll just get a little bit more blonde as it lightens up a little bit.
It depends on what my genetics are.
Anyway, feel free, comment, like, subscribe. Feel free to correct us. Feel free to argue against or for certain aspects and stuff. But in the meantime, keep your wands at the ready, and we will see you next time.